about, is it valuable? I'm going to take your questions, right? Is it valuable? Other questions? How do you do that? Type it right into the comments. We'll take your questions. I'm going to answer them, see what's what. Interesting things happening, right? I'm going to rant right off the bat because I know all of you love the rants. So here's what happened. Somebody, my office gets contacted, and the person says, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I can't make the Ask Dr. Lori live to ask a question, but I have a question. So I really want to ask this question. Can I ask you this question?" And then Dr. Lori answers the question, and then you email me a link to the video after the fact about Dr. Lori's answer to the question. And hey, you got to be here to ask the question and get it answered. What is this that the staff has to be asking the question, answering the question, sending you an email? We don't have all that time to do all of that. You got to watch. You got to be here. You want a question answered? I'm going to be answering the questions of all you people who are nice enough to take your time to be here live with me, right? So ask those questions, and those questions, that's a little rant, and those questions should be questions that everybody would benefit from, right? So if you have something you're like, I can't read this signature on my painting, that's not going to benefit everybody. So, hey, Ace, nice to see you. You have a great day too. Thanks for being with me. Questions about whatever you want to know about art, antiques, or collectibles, I'm here to answer them, right? So, yeah. Oh, yeah, the Powder Puff Girls. I love them. They're so much fun. But yeah, a lot of toys on the table tonight. And of course, lots of different things that we're going to talk about. I oftentimes remind you that you can always, of course, and thank you for the super chats and the super stickers. Keep those coming. I'll keep answering, right? But basically, I want you to succeed. I want you to know what's what. Hello to Texas. I want you to understand the concepts that can help you to do very well if you are, in fact, buying, selling, collecting, enjoying, of course, vintage stuff and antiques. Hello to Tampa. I see Tampa a lot. I love Tampa. And again, you can always, of course, ask your questions here. So let's see those questions. Type them right in. How do you call in? You're asking the questions here tonight, Becky. So if you have a question, just like you did it right there, you asked that question, you're going to ask another one. So type it right in, and I'll take your questions. The other thing I want to remind you about is the free newsletter. I know a lot of you have said, oh, I know about the free newsletter, but some of you are new, and it's the first or second time, or you've never seen me live, or you just started to find the channel. I'm happy many of you are sharing the channel so others can find the channel. But remember, my newsletter is free. It's at drloriv.com. So you can sign up right there. It's easy to do. But yeah, questions, any questions about what you want to know? Oh gosh, Dr. Lori, I have this and I don't know about this, or what do I do from that? Hello to the Bahamas. I love the Bahamas. The Caribbean is great. Spent a lot of time there, and hopefully we'll do a cruise there with all of you. I think that would be a good place to cruise too. Here's a question. Do you think vintage brass will gain in popularity? I know that vintage brass is very popular now because and many metals, objects of metals like brass are actually seeing a nice revival right now. Why? They were popular in the 1970s, and we're about 50 years from the 1970s. So what we're starting to see is, again, a revival of that 50-year cycle. And I talk about the cycles to look for and what objects are going to be valuable. I would have wanted you to be collecting that brass about 5 years ago, hold it, and then start to sell it during when the peak of the market hits. And these are some of the tips that I teach you guys in my classes and of course here on the channel where everything's free. Austin, Texas, hello. I have a set of third dragon vases, or 3D dragon vases, and they're glazed. The bottom is not glazed. Does that decrease value? Okay, good question. When you see, of course, most of these pieces, of course, are not glazed on the bottom. And a lot of times they're not glazed on the bottom because when they are glazed, they have to sit on something. And then they don't actually upset the glaze that they've done on the body of the piece to glaze the underside, right? So typically you won't see a glazing on some of the less expensive pieces, but it's going to depend on the piece. So dragon vases are very popular. It's not a bad thing if they are not fully glazed, but typically the higher end pieces are usually glazed and usually more valuable. Thank you for the super chats and the super stickers. Here's what happens when you do one of those. I get to do more videos, which helps you to succeed, make money, understand about collectibles, identify pieces properly, get the information you need, and have an expert, the expert in the field, to ask those questions too. Not just watching somebody walk around doing something, but in fact, ask those questions. That's why I do these. That's why I do these live, to give you an opportunity that other people can't really give to you. So I want you to understand this, to learn stuff, but to have some fun too. So thank you for supporting the channel. And in any denomination, a little bit helps. It helps keep the staff here. It helps me doing more videos for you. Hi Crew Life, is a vintage Uncas ring with a U and 2 arrows worth anything? Yes. However, there are reproductions that are not worth as much. So what do I want you to do? Send a picture. Can you send a picture to my website? It's very easy, right on the home page. As you get to drloriv.com, and right there, there's 3 little circles. Click on the one that says send photos, fill out the form, send me the photos. I'll look at it. I'll get back to you. If it's not worth the cost of the appraisal, I'll tell you that. I won't have you, get an appraisal that you don't need. So, yeah, that's the best way to do it. Timothy, hello. Oh, yes. We had a great video call. Thank you so much. And for those of you who have too much, or you need a present for a birthday present or a holiday present or a Mother's Day present for somebody who has so much stuff, gift certificates for appraisal video calls, video call appraisals. Gift certificates are available for folks too. So that's fun. That's a good idea. That's always easy because, you do that. Thank you, Penny. Thank you very much. A lot of people are like, I don't know what I'm going to get Aunt Susie this year, or mom or grandma or dad or whoever. So it's a good idea. A lot of you are downsizing. A lot of you are moving. A lot of you are decluttering. A lot of you are amassing pieces, collecting. So whatever it might be, those consultation sections are helpful. So does jewelry from stores like Neiman Marcus and Bergdorf's keep its high retail value? Well, it depends on what you buy. Now, there are a lot of people who like those name brand jewelry, jewelry that came from Neiman's and such. So it depends on what you buy. I always say, even if you're buying costume jewelry, try to buy the highest quality costume jewelry. If you're buying fine jewelry, precious metals, precious gemstones, diamonds, rubies, this kind of thing, then buying them from those particular places typically will hold their value. So anytime you put good money in, you usually are going to get good money out, right? So what that means is, hey, if you're paying for quality and you got quality, that's usually going to hold its value. Jewelry does very, very well, as I've taught many of you. How many of you are getting back to me? Dr. Lori, oh my gosh, you did this appraisal. I found this piece really cheap. You did the appraisal. I sold it for what you told me I could get for it. I did the work. I basically did exactly what you told me to do. You told me where to sell it, what I can do, and it worked out well. The appraisal was what I needed. So, here's a long one. Okay, you ready? Sharon Ann. You're looking at an auction with a double signed print along with artist proof spelled out. 100 of 100. Is this normal? Okay, let's answer this. So it's double signed print. First of all, that's called pencil signed. Even if it's signed in pen or magic marker, it's still called pencil signed. That means the artist actually touched the piece of paper, and signed in the plate. That means that it was signed during the process of it being printed. Okay. Then it says artist proof. Okay. So artist proof is usually in a print run. Say there's 100 prints, right? Usually there's one artist proof where the artist actually goes to the print run and the machines are running and they're printing out all the 100. Here they go. And the artist comes and pulls the print out and proofs one. They don't necessarily proof at the beginning to make sure they got the ink colors right. They could proof anywhere in the 100 before 100 are printed. So before you get to the 100th one, they pulled out a print, right? Usually it's only one. Now, if an artist decides to make artist proofs and he's going to proof 100 of them 100 times, then it should be a number that is larger than 100. It should be 100 out of 1,000 or 100 out of 15,000 or 100 out of something. If you're proofing that much, you usually need more prints to be coming off the machines. Does that make sense? Okay. Oftentimes, artists will write out artist proof. That's not a problem. Some artists prefer to do that rather than AP or EA, which is the European counterpart. So it does depend. But typically, if you're going to see 100 out of 100 as artist proofs, you might have got the last artist proof of the print run of 100 artist proof. But then you have to have a bigger open edition print run. So it's a little complicated, but I want you to understand printmaking because there's a whole lot of prints out there that can be worth a whole lot of money. I was appraising Picasso prints and some Rembrandt prints and even prints by artists, lesser named artists, photographers, great natural history photographers, great naturalist photographers like the folks from National Geographic, National Geographic, that kind of thing. So think about those types of things. Don't just poo-poo prints, but those markings are very important. Where can you find out more about those markings? drloriv.com under research. Thank you very much for that super chat and super sticker. And again, if you have a follow-up question, type it in and I'll explain, or I'll do the follow-up as well. But that's a good question about prints. Thank you, Katie. Thank you very much. That's very helpful to us. Again, I want you to understand these concepts, because once you have this knowledge, then it's yours. It's yours and you can do a lot with it. Okay. Are there any Coca-Cola drinking glasses for which we should be on the lookout? Yeah, there are a lot. You're absolutely right. There are a lot. So first of all, it's going to be by style and also by manufacturer. There are the big goblets. They're about yay big. They're green, big goblets, and they're kind of slim up here, and then they get larger, and they have the embossed Coca-Cola. There are a lot of those, are pretty popular. And those are green glass color. The other ones that a lot of people look for is they look for the traditional Coke, just Coca-Cola with the script. The script was actually written by one of their financial guys. One of their accountants actually wrote at the top of a ledger, and that became the Coca-Cola iconic Coca-Cola script writing logo that we all know. Also, if you're looking for Coca-Cola pieces, collectors like to see through the ages, right? So you like to see early 20th century Coca-Cola. Then you like to see, of course, the mid 20th century Coke. And then there's, of course, Coke, the real thing from the 70s. And of course, then there's Diet Coke and all the rest of them. So as you're looking at embossed logos on glasses, having a representative sampling throughout the decades will increase value. So I hope that helps. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Katie. I like to get, here's what it is, so you know it, so you get it. I also repeat, and I repeat on purpose, because having been a university professor and having taught for a long time, we learn things over time. So sometimes we have to repeat. It just means that we need some more time to let it gel. So, Stephanie, you're having the hardest time finding the maker's mark for K for a silver pendant necklace with a green onyx stone. Can you suggest the website's best places to look? You've researched and you can't find it. Okay. Well, first of all, there's a lot of websites out there, and there's a lot of these websites that will say, okay, here's all the jewelry marks and here's what you're looking for. I want you to do this because it's going to help you more than knowing just what this particular one is. First of all, you can send me a picture and I can help you with it. But the other thing that I would say for you to do is, remember, you're trying to look for quality of the piece. So is your piece marked sterling? That's the first thing I would want to know. I want to know about the materials before I really care about the maker. I care about the maker, but not as much as I care about the materials. I also care about the design. By looking at the designs, you're going to be able to spot certain makers. So for example, when you look at a piece of, say, costume jewelry Florenza, and then you can start to recognize that style, that's very different from a piece of costume jewelry by Shriner, for example. So when you start to do this, this is going to help you a great deal. Look for quality. I teach you what to look for. So on the videos, as you're watching the videos, you're going to see, it's going to say how to tell, what to look for. Dr. Lori shows you what to look for in this, in that, in toys, in this, in paintings, in that, in jewelry, in all different stuff. So if you're looking for websites for, I want to look for jewelry marks and think that there's going to be a comprehensive one, and make sure that that website is accurate, because a lot of times they get it wrong. I have a little running list of all the mistakes that I find as I'm doing my research. So you want to be careful of all of that, but that's great. Wade, thank you very, very much. That's a big help to me. I can't tell you how much of a big help that is. I know I'm helping all of you. I know that because all of you are telling me, Dr. Lori, you've been such a help to me. I learned this. I made money. I increased my business. I got out of a job I hated. Somebody told me I quit my day job, Dr. Lori. I watched you. I'm doing this. That's what I'm doing. That's wonderful. But the support like that really helps me a lot. So thank you for that. Starshine, are vintage Barbie dolls and clothes from the 60s valuable? Oh my gosh. All I've been doing is interviews about Barbie, right? Ahead, of course, the Barbie movie. And I will tell you that Barbie's like, this is the Sports Illustrated swimsuit model Barbie, and of course her car. There's, of course, the 1990s version Barbies. Barbies from the 60s are very valuable. So are accessories like the dream houses, the airplanes, the bathroom scales. I was appraising a Barbie bathroom scale recently. Bathroom scales, the shoes, the boots, the whole deal are really, really quite valuable and very desirable. You're coming to a time, anytime you see the market, the culture, the interest in a particular vintage collectible toy, it's the time to amass them. So before you do anything, you need an appraisal. If you need my help, I'll give you more of my help. But yes, the Barbies can be very valuable. So, and also the accessories. Oh, I've seen wonderful things, travel cases in vinyl. And a lot of you are sitting there going, oh, yeah, I had them. Write in if you had something Barbie. Write it in. Let me know what you had that was Barbie. That's what I want to know. Jewelry marked 14K from China is worth something, yes. People always want to say, oh, it's from China. Oh, it's not worth anything. But yes, it can be. You have to test the metal. You have to make sure that it is 14 karat gold. I give you recommended products, which I get a compensation when you buy one of those products through our website, drloriv.com. But in fact, we have a metals tester there. There's a lot of good recommended products there that you can actually use in your search for the treasure hunt, because the treasure hunt's fun, but it's more fun when you've got the right tools. So you want to do that. Occupy Japan figurines a lot of them are out there. Small little figurines of Occupy Japan, not as valuable as they once were. They were more valuable in the early 2000s than they are today. There are a lot of them out there because, again, people amassed them then, paid a lot for them, and then those people tend to move through the collecting phases. Oh, I'm not collecting anymore, or oh, I'm downsizing, or whatever it might be. And usually the little figurines go first. I don't know if you see that, but a lot of people get rid of those before. And I'm sorry for all of the sort of breathtaking, but I have very bad allergies this week. So I apologize for that if that's bothering you. Chelsea. Oh, that's a pretty way to spell it, Chelsea. I know you've spoken a lot about pearls. I speak about pearls because you always ask me about pearls. I'll speak about anything you want. I don't mean to belabor the point. Local Jewelers in Arizona says no one wants pearls anymore. And the most I'll get for my $2,000 pearls is $200 to $300. Well, you know what? Let me tell you something about this. This should be a rant. You want a rant right now? Remember when the Atlanta Braves were in the World Series and there was a couple of those baseball players, those baseball players who were wearing, guess what, around their neck? Not those big Cuban link chains of gold. They were wearing pearls. Pearls. That's right. Maybe it was 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. I think it was last year's World Series or the year before. Let me tell you, people are always looking for classic jewelry. So what I think that jeweler's trying to do, that jeweler's trying to get a good strand of pearls from you. This is just my opinion, for a song. And if you'll notice, he's trying to get it for a very low amount. Usually they offer you about 10% of what the real value is. So nobody wants pearls? Then why is everybody selling pearls? Nobody wants pearls? Why are they getting big numbers, big numbers and big names for Mickey Moto, for Honora, for all of these pearl pieces? I don't agree with that at all. At all. They're classic, and a lot of people will be wearing them. Yeah. Wearing pearls, running around the bases wearing pearls. These 20-year-old guys, Major League Baseball players. And if they're wearing pearls, you can bet your life that all the women are wearing pearls. So no, pearls are classic, beautiful. It's like saying, diamond engagement rings aren't going to be in style. Silly. And I think he has an ulterior motive, or she has an ulterior motive. That's just my opinion. Not trying to be mean to anybody. She's so bold. She's so mean. She said that jeweler, I've been doing this for a long time. I know what the tricks are. That's why I'm trying to educate you. But no, don't let those go for $200 or $300. Put them on your neck. No. Should we all be holding on our Mickey Mouse items for the yes? In a word, yes, you should all be holding on to Mickey Mouse items. And I'm very impressed that you realize that 100th anniversary is going to be a big deal, a huge deal. They do huge deals for 60 and 50 and all of this. 100 for Mickey Mouse, huge. It's going to be huge. So yes, I would definitely hold on to all of it. I would amass more of it if you can, And you know what? Who's doing that? All of the people who have been in the antiques and collectibles business for a million years, big auction houses, small auction houses, dealers, all of them are doing it now because they know that they need probably about 5 years to get a good enough collection together. So if they can do it, you can do it. You've got the same, phones that they have. You've got the same Google search, Yahoo search, Bing search, wherever, however you search, you got the same search engines that they have. Get in there and look for those deals. Those deals are out there. Yes, definitely. And then in my selling classes, I'll teach you how to resell. Selling classes are coming up too. Thank you very much, Steph. I appreciate it very much. It's nice to see you. Thank you for your support. That's significant support, and I appreciate it. And, if you want me to continue, I need your help. I need your help because, there's a lot to do with this. So thank you very much. But many of you do that. Many of you do that. Every time that you watch, you do a super chat or a super sticker, and I appreciate it. Anyway, having said that, is turquoise necklace with small looks like bones, as it were? Is turquoise necklace with small looks like bones, is it worth anything? I know, Teresita, that you're probably typing kind of quickly. Turquoise in general can be desirable. It will depend on the quality of the stone, where the stone was mined, and that will indicate how many veins or the black veins in the stone. Do you have Bisbee turquoise? Do you have turquoise from the Kingman mine? Those kinds of things. So we're basically looking at that. So you need to look at that first. I'm trying to answer your question, but the question was a little unclear. Not bad. But basically, yes, it can be valuable. Oftentimes, turquoise is united with other stones or with other metals. Usually with sterling silver, usually with red coral, usually, the difference between Basquiat bones. I don't know. Cherie, you got to be blunt. You know what? And I can't say that it's an age thing with me. Most people say, oh, as I got older, I got more blunt. I was always like this. Let's get down to brass tacks. Let's move it, because everything's going quickly, So I think it's easier to be blunt. And I'm not trying to be difficult. I want you guys to get it, Thank you very much. I try very hard to do as much as I can for all of you. That's why we work so hard. That's why people go, oh, Dr. Lori, you look like you're working hard. One woman, I was on a video call. She goes, you don't look very good. You look exhausted. Okay. All right. Well, I'm not really happy with an insult right out of the chute, but she didn't mean anything by it. I think she was just kind of like, wow, you're really doing a lot. I love what I do. I'm lucky to love what I do. I worked very hard to get to this point, but I want all of you to benefit. And people go, I can't believe she does this. I know, it's really nice. And you know what? You guys are great to take advantage of it. Keep taking advantage of it. Be here. Be here. Well, not like the guy who I ranted about at the beginning, ask the question, I can't be there. Can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? Can you do this for me? And then my staff, who's already inundated with work, can you do more for us? Come on. All you have to do is get here. And I understand schedules. Maybe you can't get here tonight. But wait, come to another one and ask the question at another one of my Ask Dr. Lori Lives. But yeah, I appreciate your support very much. I have a Barbie RV motorhome. Oh, nice. Yes, definitely valuable. Just because it's not as old as the ones from the 1960s and 70s, right? Just because you may not have Midge, or you may not have Alan, or maybe you don't have PJ or Skipper or any whatever. But yes, definitely all of the accessories, even the ones that are not all that old. I mean, what is that? 12 years old, but still valuable. Yes. And condition is going to be important. Barbie had wonderful houses, and then they had these cardboard elements that you could actually build a house for Barbie. It was great. My sister had the drivable Barbie car. I have some relatives who had the drivable Barbie Corvette. It was hysterical, but it was awfully cute. Barbie's great. She's an American icon, introduced in March of 1959 at the New York Toy Fair in New York City at the American Toy Fair. It was just great. Thank you, Michelle, for the super sticker. And I appreciate all of this support. You can also do that on our tip jar at drloriv.com. But basically, what I want you to learn is, everybody's talking about Barbie, so you got to start thinking Barbie, because there's going to be a big flood of this stuff of people who are like, I didn't know my Barbies were even worth anything. And then I want to know if you have Barbies, and I'm glad that you're typing that in, because I love to hear about what you guys have. Were your Barbies naked? Were your Barbies headless? Were your Barbies hairless? Did you cut the hair? I always like to know what everybody's dolls and toys and stuff looked like too. So pretty cool. The Barbie airplane, Christina, the Barbie airplane is cool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. The Barbie airplane, the thing that came up. Veronica, thank you very much for your support. Panetta jewelry is worth collecting. People like it. Maybe you are aware of my my thrift store treasure hunt videos, where I list for you. Here's what you should be looking for. And my real bargains videos. Here's what you should be looking for. When somebody finds a great bargain and I say, hey, you know what? We want to feature that great bargain. I tell you what to look for. I tell you what to look for in lots of these. So Panetta is on one of the lists. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dawn. I appreciate this. I'm so excited to see all the new names and, of course, all of my regulars here to, of course, enjoy the information here. And questions galore. I'm going to tell you, is it valuable? What do you look for in glass, in paintings? I had a lot of people in my last class who were asking about, doing just a artwork, only artwork. How do I tell an artwork? Because I talk a lot about how there's a great return on investment in a lot of these pieces, right? The Barbie Jeep and the horse trailer. That's cool. Yeah, you don't see a lot of those. We'd love to see some of those pictures. Those are fun. Yeah, those are fun. So, but Barbie is big. And of course, do custom frames necessarily mean what's inside is valuable? Well, that's a good question too, Chelsea. Okay. Most people who are having a frame made, a custom frame made, are usually housing something of some value. Now, frames are easily switched out, right? So you could switch out something that's in a frame, and that happens a lot. This is how the Declaration of Independence ends up in the back of a frame, or a Picasso ends up in the back of a frame, because people switch them out all the time. So, pardon me, when you're looking for frames, what you want to look for is nice, solid, hard wood. If you can look for composition matter, which is basically the molded elements that make a decorative aspect of the frame. Sometimes it's fruit, sometimes it's flowers or leaves or scrolls, right? And gilding, gold leaf can also be valuable. It doesn't always mean automatically that it's valuable inside, but I have to say that most of the time, if you have a custom-made frame and it's a good custom-made frame, I wouldn't be throwing away what's inside of the actual frame. You could always have me check. It's very easy. Just click on that icon on the web page, where you can submit a photo. It's very simple. So you can do that. Yep. And also the size and the weight, the heft of a frame is going to be important. Make sure it looks square. If a frame's not square, we got a different problem. So be aware of that. And then there are a lot of frames that are just junk. They're mass produced in large numbers. They're made in all different parts of the world. And, they could have a reproduction in them to try to make them look good. And I can show you the difference between those two. So, yeah, very good question. Smart. Other questions, keep them coming. If you want me to keep going, I'll keep going. If you have more questions, and of course, the super chats and super stickers help too. Michelle, here we are. Have you heard of the costume jewelry at Robert Rose? Yes, I have. There are a couple of different costume jewelry designers that use similar names of flowers, but Robert Rose is relatively well known, active in the late part of the 1900s, late 20th century. And you're going to see where custom jewelry designers and their marks, going back to that question about K, costume jewelry designers and their mark, the same costume jewelry designer could change their mark throughout their career. Firms do that too. Shannon, thank you very much. I love you too. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, Dr. Rasha, it's nice to see you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Folks who are looking at art and folks who are understanding what they should be looking for is really helpful. And then in my classes too, what I think is great? Sure, I'm there to answer questions, but the community, the class members, the other folks have a lot of information that can be helpful too. So while, I may have one solution, they may have other solutions that help them too, and other tips that help them too. This is why the classes are so popular, and the classes are coming up. You can go to the website, to the events page, and sign up to be part of the class. Christine, hi, Christine. Is a part set of pre-1930s Haviland Limoges worth much? Yes. Partial sets, yes. Here's what you'll see. You'll see people who will say, oh, I have a service for 12 of Limoges, or I have a service for 12 of any china. And then you'll also see listings that say, I have a 46-piece set, right? I have 46 pieces, like an odd number, like a number that isn't, that doesn't add up to or total a service for 8 or a service for 12. So basically, it's just how many pieces I have. And maybe, you have a lid, but you don't have the teapot. And maybe you have a platter. And maybe you have, 6 soup bowls. And maybe you only have 5 cups. And maybe you have 10 saucers. That happens. But people do collect those. People do buy those partial sets. And the reason why they buy partial sets is either A, they want to add to their own set, right? And they've lost some along the way. Or B, they want to resell them piecemeal. I was doing an appraisal on a piece of Spode china recently, Copeland Spode. One dish was $95. Oh, nobody wants china, right? One sales record for one of these dishes of a particular pattern, $95. It was almost $100 for one dish. Little bread dish. Wasn't some big, oh, it's a platter. Oh, it's fantastic. No, there you go. So you want to be aware of that. Sharon Ann, asked for Barbie, got Midge. Oh, because Santa said she was cuter. I'll tell you, Midge, very interesting. If you see my recent interviews with BuzzFeed, my recent interviews about Barbie with a couple of the Guardian and a couple of other big news outlets who asked me to weigh in, of course, on Barbie and values for Barbie. Midge is coming up. Midge is very interesting. She had a kind of an interesting introduction in Barbie. She was a mother and she was married. First, she was just Barbie's girlfriend. She had the freckles, and then they discontinued her. She was around for 4 years, and then all of a sudden she was gone. Then she comes back, and then she gets married, and then she has kids, and then she goes away again, and then they cancel her completely. She caused a lot of controversy, Midge. So your Midge doll, and me telling you that, your Midge doll probably has some value. I'd love to see her. Yeah. How do I find out how much a Robert Wood painting is? Let's talk a little bit. Thank you, Mar, for the value, for the super sticker and the super chat too. It helps me. A couple of different things helps me help you, I think. First of all, Robert Wood paintings, beautiful, wonderful. If you have an original Robert Wood painting, those gorgeous landscape paintings, big landscape paintings. I remember appraising one in a terrific collection in Texas. The originals can be extremely valuable. However, there are many oleographs of his work. That is printed onto canvas to simulate brushstrokes using Dacmar varnish, a clear coat, to simulate brushstrokes to see whether or not they actually have, again, those pieces. So you have to be able, this is why I want you to get the loop, right? The loop in my recommended products. I want you to get the loop because you're going to see whether or not you have actual brushstrokes that follow the actual trees or the mountain or the river or whatever it might be in the composition of the painting, or do you have something that's just a print and you can see all little dots and it's just printed? So I want you to be aware of that. Robert Wood's pieces have notoriously been reproduced in that manner. So if you got a real oil and canvas painting, excellent, wonderful, throw the party. That's good. If you have an oleograph, you're with a lot of other people who have oleographs of his work. So can be valuable, but I have to check. Christina, thank you very much for your super chat and your super sticker. I know this means that you like what we're doing, which makes me happy. I know this means that you understand that I'm trying to help you. I know this means that you guys are saying, hey, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I can succeed. Dr. Lori's gonna help me, and I am. I'm not gonna compete with you either. A lot of people, in a similar circle are trying to compete with you. I want you to get it. And I want you to be aware of folks who don't always know all the information, right? I'm not saying I can't make a mistake. I'm human too. But in fact, there's a lot of good information that I can share with you based on my 25 years of experience, almost 25 years of experience. And of course, my multiple degrees in the field. I've done this a long time. I know what the tricks are. I know what you should avoid. I know what you should look for. And I want you to know. I love it. It warms my heart when I hear, someone's a mother and she's trying to raise kids alone and she needs this to supplement her income and it's fun for her and it gives her an outlet and she's able to do very well. I like it when people are saying, I have to downsize. It's very emotional for me. I don't really know what to do, but I'm going to follow your tips. Or I lost my parent and now I have to clean out this house and I'm overwhelmed with grief. I tell you, pick a few things. Don't get overwhelmed with the objects as well as the grief. Let's do that. I'm sorry, I missed that question. I apologize. So, think about those types of things. I'm here to help you. I have a lot of experience that I can help you with. And again, I don't want to be the person out there who's going to, get something into my shopping cart that really you should be getting. Granny, thank you very much. I appreciate these super chats and super stickers. It really helps all the way. Cynthia, thank you. Thanks for letting me know the photo I sent in last week features something not worth the cost of an appraisal. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Cynthia. I always do that. If it's not worth the cost of the appraisal, I don't want you to spend a dime on things that you do not need. So if something is not worth it, there's no point. And this is just honesty. That's plain and simple. That's just honest. That's not a lot of appraisers do that. Let me tell you, I've been in the appraisal profession a long time. Others would say, well, I did look at it. Yeah, I know it's my time. If people say, oh, it's your time, it is my time. But, it's something that I think is the right thing to do. So that's good. I'm glad that worked out for you. Barbie mishap. Oh, no. I went to college in the 90s. My mom tag sailed my Barbies. Yeah, I don't know. Moms like to clean. I had a mom who liked to clean too. They like to clean. I have the guys will come up to me at my public events and they'll say, thank you, Penny. And they'll say, my mother threw away my baseball cards. And the girls say, my mother threw away the Barbies. And yeah, that's something. Happy doggo. Oh, I love dogs. I love dogs. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much for the puppies supporting us. I appreciate that too. And I love to hear that, of course, everybody's watching in your family. I hear that a lot. Oh, my husband's watching, but now he's hooked. I like to hear that, or my kids or whatever it might be. So I'm glad that you're sharing with everybody. But yeah, the Barbies and they just, the yard sale's an attractive thing. But then what happens is you realize that those pieces really shouldn't have gone out to the yard sale. There's a lot of things that shouldn't go out to the yard sale. What makes some crystal dishes and vases more expensive than others? Usually it's quality of the material, quality of the cutting, quality of the manufacturer is important. People like brand names, right? So, we like Tiffany and we like, Baccarat and we like Lalique and we like, this kind of thing. So basically it's going to be quality. It's always quality of the materials across the board. If it's made of something better, made of a better material, you're going to see that. And then the other things that you're going to see, in fact, are going to be, of course, if it's by a high-end manufacturer. Yeah, thank you, Mary. It's always nice to see you. Mary had a gift certificate. Someone bought a gift certificate for Mary, and that was a fun 30-minute video call. And again, gift certificates are great gifts. They're available too. Christina, buy all of your Barbies back. Similar situation here. I bought what I lost and healed. Oh, well, that's a good idea. So you're just I'm buying them back. That's right. Oh, okay. I like it. I like Barbies. I wasn't a big doll kid. I had a couple of dolls. I did have an emotional attachment to some of my stuffed animals. And some of them were given to me as gifts from parents or relatives and this kind of thing. So a couple of stuffed animals, particularly things that were handmade. But dolls were dolls were good. And I had my dolls, but I didn't really, I didn't do much. I don't remember cutting the hair of Barbie. I do remember my sisters. I have older sisters, and I do remember that they would do all kinds of stuff with Barbie. Barbie would be next to them when they were baking something. They were a little more into Barbies than I am, but they're older than I am. They're kind of going, we're not that much older, but I'm like, yeah, they're much older. Anyway, but that's the thing. Midge, but cut her hair so she could wear wigs. So Midge could wear the wigs and cut her hair. I know we're always ready to cut the doll's hair, right? That's true of any dolls. I've seen that. I've at the appraisal event, and even of course on the website, people send in pictures. The Shirley Temple dolls, and they've got like a bob. They cut the hair. So cutting the hair on the dolls is a big deal. Yeah, that tends to happen a lot. But it's funny because like the boy dolls, Ken and Alan and the boy dolls, they're like molded hair. So they couldn't cut it unless you're going to get into their skull type of thing. So, but the girls, Barbie, part of the fun was that. I remember the big Barbie hair salon. It was like this big Barbie head, and you were able to braid it and dye it and brush it. That was very popular too. But a lot about Barbie, but Barbie's been in the forefront this week, especially with again, interviews from a lot of media outlets who have asked me to talk about what are they worth. So check those out. I have a Schiaparelli set. Wow. That you can't find online. Oh, Aurora Borealis stones and faux pearls with gold. Thoughts? My thoughts are good for you. Those are my thoughts. I don't mind that you can't find it online. A lot of these pieces, people think every single thing in the world is online and that if you can't find it, it's a big problem. So But yes, I would say that the Schiaparelli piece is very valuable, particularly that you have a set. Aurora Borealis was something that they were very well known for. And I know that we've talked about, and I think I've even had some Schiaparelli on the table before, but valuable, yes. Keep the set together and think big numbers. And yes, that print was valuable. It was a PJ print. I didn't see the whole name. It was a PJ Rutu print. Now, Pinxit, see that PINX that you're talking about? That means that's the person who actually painted that piece. So there's usually a couple of different words from the Latin on prints. If you haven't seen these, you want to look for those. So one of them is Pinx, PINX, which means I painted it or pinxed it. I'm the person who did the work. Another one is Fetchit, FECIT, which means I made it. Rembrandt uses that a lot. Or the lowercase f with a period. That's what that stands for. I give you on my website under research, you can just put in prints, all of or a lot of the trick words that you don't know that are on prints. What do these little words mean? What do these little monograms mean? What do these little initials mean on a print? It's right on the website at drloriv.com. So I want you to go there and I want you to look at it. Print it out if you want to. Keep it with you. Put it in your phone, whatever you want to do. But it's easy and it's under research. Research is right above the free where you get the newsletter, where you sign up for the free newsletter. The research tab that you click on right there, the big I information icon is where you'll find it. Or use the search for prints. That's the other thing you guys don't do. Here's my other rant. You're on the YouTube channel. There's a big search right there at the Dr. Lori V YouTube channel. There's a search right there. Search for what you're looking for. The video will come up. Oh, Dr. Lori, I don't know. Do any of your videos talk about costume jewelry? Do your videos talk about paintings? Do your videos talk about sculpture? Use the search. It'll all come up. Just be on my page on the YouTube channel for Dr. Lori V. And right there is the search and type it in. You're using search. You're always using the search, the search engines for everything else. You're searching all the time, but you don't know how to search on my YouTube channel. It'll bring you everything that I say about that topic. Make it easy for yourself. We're trying to make it easy for yourselves, so that's great. I want to thank you all for, of course, that you burned the Barbie's hair trying to curl it. Oh, she's missing an arm and had a cast on her leg. Well, Michelle, I think that Barbie has seen better days. She's like burned from the head and she doesn't have an arm, and that's not good. That's not good. I don't think that's a good thing. You got to be careful. But anyway, be careful with those. But I want to thank you because you're helping us when you support the channel. And you can support it in a lot of ways. Sure, you can give super chats and super stickers, which are very helpful, and I appreciate all of them. You can also watch the videos and share the videos. Word of mouth, tell people about it. Think about taking a class. It will help you too. Well, I've enjoyed being with you guys. Thanks so much for being with me. And I loved answering your questions. We'll do it again soon. I'm Dr. Lori. We'll see you next time.